Animal neglect charges at a local feedlot have sent shockwaves through Nebraska's livestock industry, with other feedlot owners saying it's not how they take care of their animals. Marilyn Barnett has more in this interview.
Joan Ruskamp joining us here from Common Ground. Joan, thank you for joining us here via Skype. You run a large feedlot operation, so when you hear a story like this one, you probably cringe a little bit. What's your reaction to something like this?
Well, it kind of chokes me up, you know. Sorry about that. It's pretty sickening because those of us around the state that have feed yards, that have cow-calf operations, we care really deeply about what we do. And so when there's someone that is out there that is participating in this kind of animal abuse, it hits us right in the heart. So what I would like to share is how important it is to so many of us that we give good animal care. And you all are digging out from snow. I'm in Northeast Nebraska. We had 16 inches of snow last week. And so besides the year-round care that we have normally, when it snows, you can see that cattle, the priority is making sure those cattle are cared for, and number one is getting feed and making sure they have water. And we
have pictures of this too to show here. Even one of them, you actually make sure you make sure bunks are cleared. This is an example, right?
Yep. And we had to do some scooping because it was wet snow. Otherwise, we have a blower that works a lot better when it's drier. So besides making sure that they have feed and water, we want to get those pens in good shape so they're comfortable again and can lay down. They're pretty easy to care for. Feed and water and a place to lay down is really all they need to thrive. And so we will put out cornstalk bedding. We build windbreaks out of metal so that they're protected from the wind. We box scrape. We have all sorts of tools to use as far as removing the snow, and giving them that bedding so that they can lay down, have protection from the wind. Like days today, it's super windy here as well. We work with the nutritionist and our veterinarians to make sure we have really quality health care. And so when we're feeding them, they're getting a ration that's well balanced and according to the needs that they have at that moment to really thrive. And so it's just we're really committed to that quality care of our animals and making sure they thrive. The last thing we want is for any animal to suffer because of lack of care. And so, you know, we're members, Steve and I, of Nebraska Cattlemen. We're committed to excellence. Our state, Nebraska Cattlemen, was the first to really introduce the Beef Quality Assurance Program that has standards of care. And we abide by those, and it's so very important, and it so saddens us when we hear of someone who had some kind of an issue going on that led them to do what they did.
And this is something too, when you hear about this, it kind of puts a bad name on feedlot operations. You don't like to hear about that, and people might have questions as to standards. How are you inspected? How does that work exactly?
Oh yeah, we follow regulations by the EPA and the DEQ on our stewardship of our land and water for sure. And we can be audited. We have standards, like I said, the BQA program that's called Beef Quality Assurance flows over into the other parts of the livestock industry, but especially for beef producers, this is really important to us because every once in a while, a name will get out there and exposure happens that gives us all a bad name when it's one person, it's an isolated incident. And you know, we really support the law enforcement when there are people who don't properly care for the animals. And so it's important to us that those people are found and that they face the charges that need to be done for the abuse that has occurred.
Absolutely. Joan, thank you so much for your time again from Common Ground. And if you have questions for Joan, she will answer your questions as well. They have a Facebook page, Common Ground Nebraska. You can check them out. Also our website, nebraska.tv. Click on NTV's Grow if you have questions as well. Thank you again, Joan, for addressing this very serious issue.
Weather is up next. Still to come, meet our Farm Youth of the Month.